This has got the Fix-A Guide. Today we have a Whirlpool gas dryer that's taking longer and longer to dry, and I tested it out. I turned it on for a time dry, started it, and I could feel the volume of air was good and that it was getting warmer, but it cuts out too soon. The cycles are not long enough due to these coils being worn out, so we're going to be replacing these. So we got it unplugged. Pull this out. I'm going to take out these two screws. And then we're going to lift up the top. We have to push in on a couple of tabs. Use a paint scraper for that. Pushed in on this, and that lifts up. We'll do the same on this side. Sometimes you can actually pull this towards you and then lift up. There we go. And next up, we're going to be lifting this up. We just have to get it away from the wall a little bit because this is kind of in the way. We're going to hinge that up. We're going to disconnect the door switch by just pulling these two apart. I had to pry it out. That's disconnected. We'll take out these two screws. That one out. This one, and that's about all the disassembly we have to do to get to those coils. We're going to lift this up to make the bottom catches release. Get this out of the way, and I'll show you where the coils are. Once you get to this point, it's pretty easy to switch out the coils. They're just hanging out right here. And I'm going to remove these connectors. I think I'll support this to get it out of the way. You can also take that out if you want. Just gotta lift it up a little bit. All right. So now we just got to remove these plastic modular power connectors. There's one. There's two. Then there's two Phillips head screws. We're going to pull out one there and one there. We'll use our little angle tool. So these are electromagnets, and when they're energized, they pull up on a pin to let gas flow. And when they get worn out, they don't keep that open long enough, so the gas doesn't flow long enough to keep the flame going, keep it hot. That one out. And there's one back here. Pull that one out. And then that bracket just comes off. Here's our new ones. This is part number made by Electrolux 53039317775. Notice that one of these is skinny and one is a little bit fatter. The skinny one has the terminals on the top, so we're going to replace that. Pull off the old one, put on the new one, and then the bigger one pulls off. It has the terminals on the bottom. And be conscious of this little sleeve, this metal sleeve should stay on. If it comes off with the old one, just pull it out and put it back on the stem. Clean that up a little bit. So the new one, the terminals are on the bottom when you put it on. And then you have these little holes on the top of the case that correspond with plastic indexing points on the coils. So when you put on the case, it'll kind of lock the coils into position. See the little plastic coming through there, and we can put the screws back on. If the dryer's working right, and if it's cold and you turn it on and it makes the flame, that flame should continue for between 2 to 3 minutes. If it cuts out early, it usually means that the coils are getting weak. But it also could be due to an obstructed vent tube. So if the vent tube is obstructed, the heat will build up to a point where it gets so hot that it'll shut off the heating mechanism. And that's just fixed by cleaning the vent tube. The reason I ruled that out, though, is when I felt the volume of air coming out, it was very strong. It felt like a hairdryer. So I knew the vent tube was not obstructed, and that makes me think then gas coils are just getting worn out. So we just got the new ones in, primary and secondary gas coils. We've got the power back on. We're just going to put the pieces back together and test it out. So we should get between a 2 and a 3 minute time that the flame is going. You know that the flame is going because you can feel the heat. You can also kind of hear it. So we get this back on. I'm going to make this bearing sit on this felt. And lift it a little bit higher so the bottom ones can catch. That one caught. Make sure this one caught. That one caught. So now I can add those screws back in. This isn't lining up really good, so I'm going to push the metal into position to line up the screw. It's probably just because it's on not on a very flat surface. So I got that screw started. Put this one in. Same thing, I'm going to move the metal around to line up the hole better. There we go. I'll tighten those up. Okay, now we've got to make sure we remember to put these back together to give power to the lid switch. I'm going to close this one until it clicks. I'll put these Phillips head screws back in. So to do that, be careful that the screw doesn't fall in. I'm going to push this to make the screw line up. There we go. That one's lined up already. And we'll go ahead and clean this while we're here. There we go. look at it. Okay, put that back. The machine back where it was. There we go. Plug it back in. Okay, we're going to set it for time dry, high heat. We're going to go time it. See how long. Turn it on. We're going to listen for when we hear the click of the gas coils that let the flame start. There we go. Flame just started. Start the clock. You can also pop this thing off. You can actually look at the flame, which is kind of fun. So we look in there, we can see a flame. We can see how long that goes before the flame goes out. We're about minute 46. Flame is still going. So if it hits 2 minutes or more, we got it. It's 2 minutes, beyond 2 minutes, flame is still going. So we are good to go. Anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes. So that did the trick. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. Thanks again. So we just replaced the gas coils on this machine, but we're going to do a little vent cleaning. Tube is so short, there's probably very little in there, but do a little cleaning. I'm going to lift up on the flap, get this in there. I'll go and add another 3-foot section. And now we're going to hold on tight and reverse direction of the drill to spin off 3-foot section. So now we just have the one section in there. Spinning it clockwise. Let's see if much stuff comes out. Yeah, not too much. Pretty clean already. So when we turn it on, we'll get cloud will come out. Set it back. So there was some in there, not much.